Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 8th of November and we are going to deal with three very important topics which are news. The first is Global TB Report. This report is released by the World Health Organization annually. It highlights the incidence of TB globally and the responses by the governments to tackle this disease. In the Sustainable Development Goals, also, it has been mentioned that it is very important to tackle communicable diseases like TB. However, in this particular context, India shines bright. India, although is having one of the highest number of TB cases in the world, but from the recent past, there has been substantial reduction in the number of cases. There has been substantial increase in allocation of the government funds to tackle this particular disease. After all, the government has launched the Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, and the government plans to eliminate TB from India by 2025. The global target is 2030. So let's see what happens. But yes, we are progressing well on this. Second is Israel's Iron Beam. You might have heard about Israel's Iron Dome. Iron Dome is basically a missile interceptor technology, which intercepts the incoming missiles by a missile. Now, this Iron Beam is basically a missile interceptor technology, but it intercepts the incoming missiles by laser beams. Now, since it is intercepting by laser beams, so there is less cost involved in it because in Iron Dome, every missile is costing somewhere around 500 million or 50 million, whatever the cost is. But here, no missiles are being fired, only laser beams are being fired. That is why it is being more cost effective. Then next is exercise Vinbax. It is basically a bilateral exercise between Vietnam and India conducted annually. This 2024 was the fifth edition of this. This has been started as part of our strategic partnership. In this exercise, the key features are to develop interoperability among the forces, to manage disaster relief and response, to upgrade themselves for joint UN peacekeeping operations and all. These are some of the features, but yes, it is very important and it will definitely give strength to Vietnam because countries like China are doing a lot of things in the South China Sea, which is impacting countries like Vietnam. And then we'll be dealing with the MCQs and we'll be discussing the answers of the MCQs of day before yesterday. Now, the first topic, that is the Global TB Report 2024, and India performs in it. And India performs well in it. The World Health Organization released this Global Tuberculosis Report on October 29, 2024. It highlighted India's remarkable progress in fighting tuberculosis and in closing the gap of missed TB cases since 2015. The efforts made by India have been acknowledged globally with respect to TB, tackling and all. But let's first understand what is TB. TB is a disease we know, but it is caused by which pathogen, with which microbe? So it is a bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is usually attacks the lungs, but TB bacteria can attack any part of the body such as kidney, spine, and brain. It can attack your stomach as well. So this is TB, a bacterial disease it is. Symptoms of TB, if I talk about symptoms of TB: fever, fatigue, weight loss, persistent cough is there, then blood in cough is also a thing, and night sweats. These are quite common. Is TB communicable? Yes, TB is communicable. How it is spread? It is spread by close contact. So a person having tuberculosis comes in close contact with a person not having tuberculosis and he coughs, sneezes. So the droplets containing that bacteria enter the body of that person who is not having TB, but now that person will be having TB. So with close contact, this happens. Now, talking about India's progress. So first is improved treatment coverage. So let's see some facts and figures. In 2023, India reported an estimate 27 lakh TB cases. Of these, 25.1 lakh people were diagnosed and began treatment, means substantial amount were, diagnosed with TB and their treatment began. Earlier, we were not able to diagnose. People were not reporting, and those were the missed cases. And that is why we're saying that we have closed the gap on the missed cases. This has helped increase India's treatment coverage to 89% in 2023, up from 72%. India's progress in case detection and treatment coverage has been one of the fastest globally, bridging the gap of missed TB cases. So, progress has been the fastest, we can say this, but yes, a lot needs to be done. Decline in TB incidence. India achieved a decline in 17.7% decline in TB incidences from 237 per lakh population in 2015 to 195 per lakh in 2023. But still, India has the one of the highest number of TB cases in the world. This is more than double the global decline of 8.3%. So our decline was 17.7% and the global decline was 8.3%. So this is fast. Reduction in TB mortality. So deaths also happen if TB goes untreated or if improper treatment of this disease happens. So TB mortality, India's efforts have resulted in 21.4% reduction in TB related deaths from 28 per lakh population in 2015 to 22 per lakh in 2023. So 195 per lakh are getting TB, and out of these 195, 22 per lakh are dying. This is the rate of mortality. This is consistent with the country's sustained efforts to improve TB care and treatment. Now, key contributions, especially by the government and other stakeholders as well. Increased funding and government support. Government has increased the budget for TB control from 650 crores in 2015 to 3400 crores in 2022-23. This is around 5 times or slightly more than that. This financial boost has helped strengthen national TB elimination program, which now benefits from sustained domestic financing. Enhanced diagnostic and treatment infrastructure. So first, let me tell you that treatment of TB is very, very, I would say, strict. If you miss one dose of TB, you'll have to restart the treatment again. This is how the treatment is, and treatment is long. So India has scaled up its diagnostic capabilities, including the use of molecular diagnostic tools and AI-enabled portable chest X-ray machines. India now has the world's largest TB laboratory network with over 7767 rapid molecular testing facilities and 87 culture and drug susceptibility testing labs. So testing and all diagnostics have increased, fund allocation have increased, private sector participation has also been better. Private sector contributed 32.9% of the total TB cases reported in 2023, means in the private healthcare sectors, reflecting the growing involvement of private healthcare providers in TB care. Despite this, India has maintained a high treatment success rate of 87.6% in 2024. So 87.6% of the cases we are able to treat. Now, new initiatives to tackle TB. So, last month, it was 10th of October, if I'm not wrong, we covered this topic, increased allocation for TB, and we talked about the PM Pradhan Mantri Nikshay Poshan Abhiyan, where government increased the direct benefits transfers to the TB patients from 500 rupees to 1000 rupees so that they can meet their nutritional requirements in a much better way. That is Nikshay Poshan Yojana. In October 2024, government announced an increase in the Nikshay Poshan Yojana support for TB patients, raising the amounts from 500 per month per patient to 1000 per month per patient for the entire duration of the treatment. And this 1000 per month is going directly in the bank account of the patient with the purpose of meeting the nutrition requirements of the patient. If nutrition is proper, then it will help the patient fight this disease better. The out of pocket expenditure of the patient will obviously come down because government is assisting that patient with 1000 rupees. So this is how it is. Nikshay Poshan Yojana has already disbursed 3202 crore rupees to 1.13 crore beneficiaries through direct benefits transfer. Increased financial support will benefit 25 lakh TB patients annually and introduce energy dense nutritional supplements EDNS for around 12 lakh undernourished TB patients. Nikshay Mitra and nutritional support. The government expanded nutritional support under the Nikshay Mitra initiative, which now provides food baskets to household contacts of TB patients. So these Nikshay Mitras, they go and give awareness. They give also what to eat, what not to eat, and people are getting money So how to effectively utilize that money, that is the main purpose. This aim is to improve the immunity of family members and reduce the economic burden on TB patients. Now, new TB treatment regimen for MDR TB. So, MDR is multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. In September 2024, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare approved the introduction of a novel regimen for multi-drug resistant tuberculosis called BPAM. This treatment is shorter and more effective compared to older regimens, significantly improving the chances of recovery for MDR TB patients. So, as I told you that the treatment of TB is quite rigorous. It is strict. If you miss out on a medicine or on a dose, you'll have to restart it. And if you frequently keep doing it, the TB will become drug resistant in your body. That will be called as multi-drug resistant TB and it will not be able to cure. So this is what we need to understand and keep in mind ki bhai, we need to be very strict for this. And that is important so that multi-drug resistant TB does not, you know, develop. Now, key facts about TB notification and treatment success. As of September 2024, India has notified 19.88 lakh TB cases, a 4.2% increase from 19.08 lakh cases in the same period in 2023. Private sector contributed to 7.22 lakh notifications, an increase from 6.99 lakh in 2023. India has achieved a treatment success rate of 87.6% in 2024, reflecting effectiveness of its TB care program. Now we have this Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, which was launched by the government in 2022 with the aim of eliminating TB in 2025 from India. 54,448 new Nikshay Mitras have been registered under Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan as of October 2024, and 8.3 lakh food baskets have been distributed to support TB patients. TB preventive treatment has been administered to 12.23 lakh beneficiaries in the first 3 quarters of 2024. So, total cases in India as of now 19.08 lakh, which were in 2022 somewhere around 27 lakh. Adult BCG vaccine study. In January 2024, India started an adult BCG vaccine. That is BCG is basically that vaccine which is administered to the children, and this is basically for tackling diseases like TB and all. And this is in collaboration with ICMR. So by October 2024, over 81.4 lakh doses of BCG vaccine had been administered in 14 states or UTs as part of trial to explore broader TB prevention strategies. Now we talked about Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. So let's know the details of this as well. September 2022, it started. It has been envisioned to bring together all community stakeholders, whether it be government hospitals, private hospitals, people most importantly, and in the present setup, the Nikshay Mitras and all, to support those on TB treatment and accelerate country's progress towards TB elimination. According to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, all nations have to set the goal of eradicating TB by the year 2030. But the government of India has set the target of eradicating TB by the year 2025. Still, a lot of cases are there, some 19 lakh cases are there. TB causes the largest number of deaths among other infectious diseases in India and has a little less than 20% of the world's population, where more than 27% of the total TB patients of the world are. So, 19 lakh cases is equal to somewhere around 25-27% of the total TB patients in the world. So, India has the highest number of TB patients in the world, but India also has the highest number of reduction rate in the past few years, as per this report. Now, a disease like TB needs to be tackled. And in this age of medical advancements, we are using artificial intelligence also to treat, diagnose TB and all. So why shouldn't we be able to do that? All the stakeholders definitely need to be doing their job. The government needs to improve funding, which it has done. The healthcare professionals need to deliver the medical services in a better way. The people have to be more aware, more sensitive, and if there is a TB patient, we do not need to socially boycott that person. We need to give that person proper care because TB is treatable and it gets treated. The person who has TB should be considerate enough to follow basic etiquettes whenever he or she is going out in public, that coughing, sneezing and all, you know basic etiquettes like hands and all should be there in front of your nose or mouth, so that it does not get spread. So this is how collectively we can tackle this particular disease. Next is iron beam. So beam is a laser beam over here. So you can see from this image, these vehicles or this particular device is firing a laser beam which is intercepting with the incoming missile and destroying it. This is going to be a breakthrough technology. It is not in use right now, but why it is in news? In November 2024, Israel's defense ministry announced $500 million deal to begin the production of Iron Beam, a laser interceptor system designed to target and destroy incoming rockets, missiles, drones. Not only missiles, but drones and all can be targeted. Any aerial object which is coming towards can be targeted. This innovative system will be developed by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems and Elbit Systems. It is expected to be operational within a year, 2025, that is, it will be operational. So, it is going to be a game changer technology. Why game changer? I will just let you know. What is Iron Beam? It is Israel's cutting edge laser defense system designed to protect country from a wide range of airborne threats, including missiles, drones, rockets, and mortars. System is set to become operational within a year. It is not operational, it has been tested and all things have been done. It will represent a major leap forward in military technology, marking a new era of warfare. Now, Israel, as we know, is uh, in a war-like situation since October last year, and a lot of missiles have been fired at it. And a lot of missiles have been intercepted by the Iron Dome technology which Israel has. What is Iron Dome? Iron Dome is also a missile interceptor technology, or we call it an anti-missile technology. Now, if an incoming missile is there, this Iron Dome intercepts it and launches another missile, and this missile intercepts the incoming missile in the air and destroys it over there. But this is a altogether different thing. Iron Beam. It can tackle incoming missiles, it can tackle incoming drones, it can tackle any aerial objects. And guess what? It is more cost effective. Because in Iron Dome, you need a missile, and that missile will be, costly. Some cost will be obviously there. But in Iron Beam, no cost is there as such as compared to the Iron Dome, because no missiles are getting launched, only laser beams are going, and it is up to you. Whenever you want, you can switch off those iron beams. So laser beams. So it is like this. Key features of Iron Beam: laser technology for missile defense. Iron Beam uses high powered lasers to neutralize incoming projectiles. It has the capability to engage threats from hundreds of meters to several kilometers away. System operates with a unlimited magazine. Unlimited magazine means this will not get over. In Iron Dome, a magazine is limited, means number of missiles which have to be fired, meaning it doesn't require reloading and boasts almost zero cost per interception, making it a highly cost effective compared to traditional missile defense systems like Iron Dome. Integration with the existing defense system, the Iron Beam will complement Israel's Iron Dome and Arrow 2 and 3 interceptors. It is not like that Iron Dome or Arrow 2 and 3 will go away. They will be there. They are effective for missiles and all. This Iron Beam will be effective for missiles, drones, and such like. And since Israel is in a hostile location surrounded by its enemies all across, so it needs more and more such kind of interceptor systems. So, while Iron Dome is effective against larger projectiles, Iron Beam will focus on intercepting smaller, faster, and harder to detect targets such as drones, rockets, and mortars. Cost efficiency: each interceptor missile launched by the Iron Dome can cost around $50,000. In contrast, the Iron Beam operates at a fraction of this cost due to its laser based interception technology. This makes Iron Beam a more affordable and sustainable solution for defending against high volume, low cost threats like drones and mortars. Advantages and limitations. The first advantage is cost effectiveness, and we know why it is cost effective, because each I would say missile fired from the Iron Dome is costing $50,000, and this is costing nothing practically. High speed interception can be done. Being based on laser systems, it can intercept the threats at a higher speed. Minimum collateral damage. The precision of the laser targeting minimizes collateral damage. So if in Iron Dome, the missile which is fired to intercept the incoming missile misses that, so that fired missile will, you know, fall somewhere in our territory only, most of the chances. So that will cause damage. But in case of lasers, it is not going to be the case. Limitations: the system is less effective in low visibility conditions such as bad weather or fog. This is one such limitation. This could limit its operational effectiveness during the certain environmental conditions, and this the enemy can take advantage of. Next is exercise Vinbax. It is an exercise between India and Vietnam. So Vietnam India bilateral exercise is the full form, and this 2024 edition is the fifth edition of this exercise being conducted in Ambala, Haryana, and it will be happening from November 4 to 23. 2024 is being conducted in Ambala, Chandi Mandir. Joint military training is a continuation of the successful exercise held between both the two nations. The last one was conducted in Vietnam in 2023, means it is an annual exercise. It marks a significant milestone in the defense cooperation between India and Vietnam. And, you know, we in, I would say, 2014 upgraded our relationship with ASEAN countries to strategic partnership. Vietnam is one of the ASEAN countries. Strategic partnership simply meant ki, multiple domains of integration we are having with each other, but compulsorily we are having defense cooperation with each other. Defense cooperation meant defense exercises, defense trade and all. So Winbacks is a result of upgrading our partnership to strategic partnership with the ASEAN countries, and here bilaterally we are dealing with Vietnam, which is one of the ASEAN countries. Key features: expanded scope and participation. This year's exercise is notable because we have expanded scope. Expanded scope means Indian Army is also there, Indian Air Force is also participating along with their Vietnamese counterpart. Indian contingent comprises of 47 personnel from the Indian Army, including a regiment of the Corps of Engineers and personnel from other arms and services. Vietnamese contingent also comprises of 47 personnel, will be represented by troops from Vietnam People's Army. Second is focus on UN peacekeeping mission. So these military exercises, there are some common features of the military exercises. One is that focus on interoperability, means you learn to know how both of you operate, so that in situations of emergencies you can, you're not looking at each other's faces, you're not confused, you know how they operate. Second is, if the forces are deployed for a UN peacekeeping mission, so they should be knowing that how to operate and all. We are also practicing that, and United Nations, instructs the countries that if you are doing joint military exercises, also consider these things, that how these forces, if needed, will operate during peacekeeping missions. Third, disaster response and all these are also become common these days, and all these were there in this exercise also. So focus on UN peacekeeping operations, field training and disaster relief. So this was also undertaken. Strengthening mutual confidence and interoperability. This was taken, and cultural exchange was also facilitated. In addition to military training, the exercise will also provide both contingents with the opportunity to learn about each other's social and cultural heritage. So this is what the features of these exercises were. Significance: strengthening bilateral military cooperation among India and Vietnam. And why this has started? Because, first of all, our partnership with Vietnam was upgraded to strategic partnership in 2014. Second of all, China is doing a lot of activities in the South China Sea, which, Vietnam is not happy about. Countries like Vietnam, Philippines are not happy about. So these kind of exercises, they upgrade their skills, they give them confidence, they teach them some new skills and all. So this is what the ultimate objective of these exercises is. So significance: strengthening bilateral military cooperation, strategic partnership, which was established in 2014 as per the Act East policy, and regional security and stability, because in the Indo-Pacific region, this South China Sea, China is doing a lot of activities. The freedom of navigation of seas and all is a big threat. Now considering the MCQs, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The Global Tuberculosis Report is released by WHO. India has increased the gap in the missed TB cases since 2015 as per the report. So which of these options are correct? Second, which of these microbes causes tuberculosis? It is very simple. Virus, protozoa, bacteria or fungus. Third, which of the following can be considered as the objectives of PM Nikshay Poshan program? Better nutritional outcomes for the notified TB patients, reducing out-of-pocket expenditure, better treatment outcome. Be very careful in answering this question. I've not discussed this at length, but yes, Last month I discussed it at length, but here, common sense if you apply, you'll be able to answer this particular question. Fourth, consider the following statements with respect to iron beam missile defense systems and mark the correct one. It is being developed by Rafael and Elbit Defense Systems. It is a more expensive and reliable missile defense system than Iron Dome. Which of these statements are correct? And the last question, which one of the following is a key feature of exercise Vinbax? Develop interoperability, focus on UN peacekeeping operations, third, disaster relief. Which of these options is going to be correct, or find the correct combination? 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, all of the above. Now the MCQs of 6th November, since yesterday we did not take up any MCQs. Which of these conventions were adopted in the Rio Earth Summit? United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, yes. Biodiversity, and this was United Nations Convention to Combat Climate Change. I corrected it that day. And in the Rio Earth Summit, all these three were adopted, and only these three were adopted, I would say. So all of the above is going to be the correct answer for this. Second, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The Aichi biodiversity targets had to be met till 2020. This is true. Aichi biodiversity targets were adopted in COP10 2011, which was there in Nagoya, Japan. And this statement is also correct. So C is going to be the correct answer for this. Which country has signed the UN Convention on Biodiversity but not ratified it? So it is USA, the only country which has done so. And the fourth question, consider the following statements with respect to COP16 of UNCBD and mark the correct one. Global tax on genetic data from nature has been approved. Yes, we have classified the companies also that they have to meet these two of these three criteria, and those companies which are taking the data from the biodiversity hotspot or something like this and benefiting out of it should be paying certain amount of taxes, and 50% of that taxes should be going for benefiting the local population over there. Indigenous and local communities' permanent role in decision making has been enabled. Yes, this has been enabled for the first time that members from these kind of communities, they will be participating directly in the COPs of UN CBD. So both these statements are correct, and C is going to be the correct answer for this. Now, with this, we've come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. That's it from today. Namaste. Jai Hind.